Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Spades. Now, Spades is it's sometimes seen as a somewhat complicated game. And so we will go a bit more in depth here, more so than we usually do. And so the teams. Spades is a team game. You have four players in fixed partnerships with partners sitting opposite from each other. Um, So me and Bill are partners, so we sit opposite from each other, and then Mike and Lisa are partners, so they sit directly opposite from each other. In terms of the deal as well as the play, it's clockwise. Um, what you'll need is a standard 52 card deck to play. The cards in each suit are ranked from highest to lowest, with ace being the highest and 2 being the lowest, while other cards follow the standard rank in between. The first dealer, you can just choose it randomly, right, when you are playing, and then after that the next deal will be clockwise. Cards are shuffled and then dealt singly, one at a time, in clockwise, beginning with the player on the dealer's left until all 52 cards have been dealt, and every player has 13. If that sounded way too complicated, just remember, you just deal each player 13 cards, one card at a time. In terms of bidding, and so in Spades, all four players bid a number of tricks. Each team adds together the bids of the two partners, and the total is the number of tricks that team must try to win in order to get a positive score. And so what you basically have to do is I'm going to bid how many tricks I think I can win, and then that's what every other player is going to do as well. And the team adds together the bids of the two partners, and so we'll demonstrate that here. And the total is the number of tricks the team must try to win in order to get a positive score. So I have an ace here, as well as a I'll go with two tricks here. So I bid two. Mike bid one, Bill bid four, and Lisa bid four. And so what does that mean? That means in total, um, Bill and I must try to win 6 tricks in order to obtain a positive score. Remember, play begins, and as well as bidding is clockwise. Everyone must bid a number, and any number from 0 to 13 is allowed. Every player must bid. You have to bid a certain number, and there's only one round of bidding. And so the bid you made is the bid that stays. So do note, a bid of 0 tricks is known as nil. This is a declaration that the player who bid nil will not win any tricks during the play. There's an extra bonus for this if it succeeds and a penalty if it fails. The partnership also has the objective of winning the number of tricks bid by the nil's partner. It is not possible to bid no tricks without bidding a nil. If you don't want to go for the nil bonus or penalty, you must bid at least one. In essence, if a player bids 0 tricks, then that player's team will get a penalty. If that player wins more than 0 tricks, or that team will get a bonus if that player wins 0 tricks. And so in terms of play, the player to the dealer's left, once again with everything, it's the player to the dealer's left. With dealing with bidding and with playing, the player to the dealer's left starts, and we go clockwise. The player to the dealer's left leads any card except a spade to the first trick. Each player, in turn clockwise, must follow suit if they are able to. If unable to follow suit, the player may play a card of any suit. What we'll do here is we'll play our ace of hearts. So, standard trick-taking rules apply. The player who wins a trick leads the next trick. A trick containing a spade is won by the highest spade played. If no spade is played, the trick is won by the highest card of the lead suit. And so spades serve as the trump card in the game Spades. That's why it's named Spades. And so the winner of each trick once again leads the next trick. So it's standard trick-taking rules here. Spades may not be led until some player has played a spade on the lead of another suit. or if the leader has nothing but spades left in hand. And so notice I won't be able to lead with a spade. You cannot lead with a spade until it's called when spades are broken, and so when a spade is played on another suit, or a spade, or the leader has nothing but spades in hand. And so playing the first spade on another suit is known as breaking a spade. And so you can only play lead with a spade if the spade has been broken or if spades are the only card you have left. And so let's lead again. We'll go with a king here. Spades are broken, spades are broken. So Lisa played a spade, right? Because she did not have any hearts, and so she broke spades. And so now a player can lead with spades. We do have to play in the lead suit whenever possible. And so what we'll try to do here is we will play our lowest cards that we can. I can't beat Bill's card, and so I'll have to play my lowest card anyway. That was a spade that was played. So Mike led with a spade because spades were broken, right? So once they get broken, you can lead with them. And so we'll keep playing here, and then we'll talk about the scoring after. My man Bill is doing us a solid here, and I thank him for that, as he is on a roll. Bill is on a roll, but it seems like Lisa has won. Once again, we're in a bit of a tough spot. No, okay, Bill has. Okay. So let's just talk about the scoring now. And so once we talk about the scoring, that's pretty much all there is to it. And so we'll sum it up and we'll play a couple more rounds, and then that should be great in terms of explaining the game, really. And so keep in mind, if you win all 13 tricks in a round, it's known as a Boston. But that's really rare, and that probably won't happen, so do not worry about such a thing. A side that takes at least as many tricks as it bids receives a score equal to 10 times its bid. Additional tricks or over tricks are worth an extra point each. So the combined bid of me and Bill was 4 plus 2, so that's 6. We took 7 tricks, so we get 6 times 10, right? The amount that we bid times 10, and then we get an additional point for an over trick. An over trick is known as a bag as well. That's interchangeable. And so a side which accumulates 10 or more bags actually loses 100 points. And so you can't just bid low and say, okay, even if I get more tricks, there's no penalty. If you obtain 10 bags or 10 over tricks, right? So 10 tricks that were more than what you bid over the course of the game, not just one round, over the course of the game, you lose 100 points, right? And so you actually need to be, quite aware, and you must bid accurately to ensure that this does not happen. And so if you reach 20 over tricks, you would lose another 100 points, and so on. And so for every 10 over tricks or every 10 bags you accumulate, anytime you reach 10 total bags or 20 total bags or 30 total bags, you lose 100 points. And so make sure that you do not overbid. And so it's better to actually not go for over tricks. Simply being, they only give you 1 point, and in the grand scheme of things, that probably won't do much for your score. Do note that if a side does not make a bid, they lose 10 points for each trick they bid. And so in this case, their combined bid was 5, but they took 6 bids, and so they got 1 over trick, and so they gained 1 point. But if you do not make your bid, you lose 10 points for every trick you bid. So make sure that you make your bid. It's very important, because if you don't, you will lose 10 points. And so total, me and Bill had a combined bid of 6. Let's say we only had 5 bids, right? With between the two of us, we missed our bid, right? Because our combined bid was 6, but let's say we only have 5, we would miss our bid, and we would lose 10 points for every trick that we took. So since we had 5 in this hypothetical scenario, we would lose 50 points. So make sure that you meet your bid. It's very, very important. If a nail is successful in which you bid 0, um, the nail bidder's side receives 100 points. This is in addition to the score won or lost by the partner of the nail bidder for tricks made. If a bid of nail fails, then the bidder's side loses 100 points, but still receives any amount scored for the partner's bid. And so if you bid 0, then it's not really combined between you and your partner. The player who bid 0 is playing for himself to win 0, while their partner is playing to win the amount that they bid. The side which reaches 500 points first wins the game. If both sides reach 500 points in the same round, the side with the higher score wins. So let's play. Keep in mind that even though we have our individual bid point totals, bidding is combined. And so let's say bids 3, Bill bids 3, and I bid 1. I can win 0 tricks and Bill can win 4 tricks. That still satisfies what we need. And so I'll actually bid, I'll bid 3 here as well. So that's the clubs there. I'll play my lowest value club. We'll let Mike take that trick. Mike played a heart. We'll play our lowest value heart here. Let Mike take that trick. Bill played a spade, breaking the spades. Quite good for Bill. Thank you for doing that, Bill. Bill already played the ace, so I do not need to worry about that. In this case, I have to play my diamond, and it sucks because I'll lose my king even though Lisa wins that bid. I'll play my spade, and so Lisa is cleaning out the spades here. Oh no. Oh no. This is not going as planned. Lisa, do not do this. Lisa is cleaning this out here. Okay, Mike and Lisa are doing quite good. And me and Bill are guaranteed to lose points here. Yeah. And so we lost, and so me and Bill had a combined bid of 6, but we only took 3 tricks, and so we lose negative 60 points. We lose negative 10 times the amount we bid. And so, unfortunately, due to that last round, I thought I was quite good at this game, but apparently I'm not. And so I think that sort of wraps it up. There is really no point of continuing to go again and again. Just note that, let's just go through the rules again. 4 players are in fixed partnerships, with partners sitting opposite from each other. Deal, play, as well as bidding is clockwise. The ranks of the cards are with ace being the highest and 2 being the lowest, following the standard ranking of cards. You just need a single 52 card deck. The first dealer is chosen at random, and the turn to deal rotates clockwise. Cards are dealt one at a time, and clockwise, beginning with the player on the dealer's left until all 52 cards have been dealt and everyone has 13 cards. In spades, all 4 players bid a number of tricks. Each team adds together the bids of the 2 partners, and the total is the number of tricks that team must try to win in order to get a positive score. The bidding begins with the player to the dealer's left and continues clockwise around the table. Everyone must bid a number, and in theory, any number from 0 to 13 is allowed. Unlike other games with bidding, there is no requirement for each bid to be higher than the last one, and players are not allowed to pass. There is no second round of bidding. Bids once made cannot be altered. Do note that if you bid 0 tricks, that player must hit that total. If the player who bid 0 tricks does indeed win 0 tricks, they get a 100 point bonus. If not, they get a 100 point penalty. is called the nil bonus. And so the player to the dealer's left, once again, everything starts with the player to the dealer's left, bidding, playing, and dealing, and it goes clockwise. The player to the dealer's left leads any card except a spade. Each player in turn must follow suit. If unable to follow suit, the player may play any card. A trick containing a spade is won by the player with the highest spade played. If no spade is played, the trick is won by the player who played the highest card in the lead suit. The winner of each trick leads the next trick. Spades may not be led until either a player has played a spade on the lead of another suit, or the leader has nothing but spades left in their hand. Playing the first spade is known as breaking spades. When a team wins all 13 tricks in a round, it is called a Boston. As far as I know, there's no bonus for it, but I guess if you just want to keep track of how many Bostons a team won, by all means you could do that. A side that takes at least as many tricks as it bids calls for as the combined bid, right? And so if you bid 6 and you take at least 6 tricks, you receive a score equal to 10 times its bid, and so that would be 60. Additional tricks or over tricks are worth an extra 1 point each. Over tricks are also known as bags. A side, which over the course of the game accumulates 10 or more bags, loses 100 points. And so if you accumulate 20 bags, you would lose another 100 points. For every 10 bags or over tricks you accumulate, you lose 100 points. And so with bidding, you might say, okay, we won additional tricks, yay, that's even better. But you want to keep in mind, you want to try to be as accurate as you can. And so you want to try to balance out the risk of bidding too high, but also preventing yourself from taking over tricks or winning more tricks than you need to. Right? And so do you shoot low with the risk of getting over tricks but guaranteeing your bid, or do you shoot high with a lesser risk of over tricks but a greater risk of getting negative points for failing to meet your bid? You must see which one you want to balance out. And so suppose that both teams reach 500 points, right? Because the goal is to reach 500 points to win the game. If both teams reach 500 points in a single round, the side with the higher score wins, right? And so if one team had 510 and the other had 520, the team with 520 would win, right? If both teams have the exact same score and they're both above 500, then you play another tiebreaker round, and you continue tiebreaker rounds until one team has a higher score than the other, and they are both above 500. And so that wraps up how to play the card game Spades. This was somewhat of a longer video, but it is a more in-depth game. And so I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.